Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to your main event of your podcast listening experience, and welcome to the George Groves Boxing Club, introducing your reigning, defending podcast tag team champions of the world, introducing the former world champion George Groves and his partner Dec Taylor. I'm a glorified public speaker. I'm a public speaker, but with a little bit of nuance to it.
Is this your actual voice? Because your voice sounds like
he's actually from Derby.
You have to be perfect and completely polished. I think it's one of the hardest jobs in boxing.
I don't think there's a single crowd in the world that couldn't get juiced.
This is the George Groves Boxing Club. I'm George Groves. I'm with Dec, and this week we have, well, the MC. I mean, maybe he should have introduced this podcast today.
Yeah.
It's Big Mo. Big Mo, thanks for coming on the show, mate. Thanks for joining the club. How
Absolutely.
you doing?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you guys having me. I've wanted to do this show for a while. I've become a fan of yours as I've been kind of getting my master's degree in British boxing knowledge and things like that. So I've always wanted to come on and have a conversation with you fellas. So I appreciate the hospitality and the invitation.
Thank you.
Would you have charged us if we'd asked you to do the intro?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Yeah,
Give it a few
how
years.
was it so far? I mean, what did I miss out on? What did I do well?
I think you can hit words a little bit harder that you're trying to emphasize. Maybe some heavier enunciation, like welcome, like you're really going after it. I don't know. I feel like you gave us like a 6 out of 10 there.
Yep.
I feel like you could have given us a 7 or an 8
try again?
even.
Let's do it again.
We could be all day.
Let's not restart it, but let's just go one more time. No, he's giving you welcome.
Right. Welcome.
Oh, that was so good.
No, that was good.
Yeah, I felt that. Go do it one more time.
Welcome to the George Groves Boxing Club. I'm George Groves. This is Dec. And we are with Big Mo today, MC Big Mo.
That's brilliant. Yeah, come on. That's the best one.
Yes.
Look at that, on the job.
Now time out. Let's not go taking my job. All right?
Yeah.
Let's keep it reasonable.
It was
okay.
average
I need to
as
stay
well.
employed here.
Yeah, exactly. So you are the boxer ring announcer. That's the official term, isn't it? Ring announcer,
MC. I mean, announcer, entertainer, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I like ring announcer.
So as we know, in this country, we've got Sky, we've got TNT, we've got DAZN, bit of Channel 5.
Yep.
So there are barely any jobs in your market.
Yes.
Maybe the most competitive field.
I would say so. I think it's one of the most niche careers you can find. I would say of professional announcers that generated income, they're on a platform. I mean, there may be 25 in the world, and then when you even narrow it down to people that may do pay-per-views or championships or things like that, it may be like 10. So it's definitely a narrow market. I think that's been the fun thing for me, is kind of being the newer, younger person in it, as I'm kind of seeing what has been done right in the past, how I want to, have my own twist on it, find opportunities to succeed, etc. So it's been an interesting ride so far, as quickly as it's gone.
So how did you get into it to start with? Was you just chatting away to your mates and someone walked over to you in the coffee shop and went, man, you sound like you should talk on the telly?
No, I mean, I wish it was that simple. So I went to college, university. I studied business. I always wanted to work in entertainment, but I thought I was going to go more of the business route, agent, manager, whatever. But I was always a pretty comfortable public speaker. And towards the end of my college career, I started hosting like events and galas and things like that. And one of my friends said, hey, have you ever thought about trying commentary? Because commentary is, as you know, a pretty common transition when you get done playing the sport. But at the time, I had played football and basketball my whole life. I was like, it's not really interest me, but I always loved combat sports. I loved MMA at the time. I was getting more into boxing. So I picked up the phone. I'm never afraid to get told no, and I started calling local regional promotions. And eventually I joined a promotion called Sparta that was a regional MMA promotion. They did do boxing. They kind of did everything. And they chose to bring me on as a color commentator, bring some energy, bring some youth to it, have more fun on the broadcast. And I remember seeing the ring announcer in the ring, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, I think I could be kind of good at that. I feel like that's more my my area. So handed the promoter, they eventually let me try it. I think I did pretty well. I think some managers and some coaches that have been in the industry said, hey, you may be onto something here. So at that point I decided, well, all right, I want to pursue this, but if I'm going to pursue this, I want to do it with the intention of being the best at it. I don't like just doing hobbies just for the hell of it. I want to actually create something. So I started branding myself, went by Big Mo just as an easy name to remember, opposed to my kind of complex last name. I used to wear sunglasses in the ring to be kind of a visual aesthetic to stand out when I came on broadcast or camera, things like that. And then it just kind of took off from there. I mean, social media was a big thing for me because obviously most ring announcers are a little bit older of a demographic, so maybe they don't use social media as much. So I leveraged TikTok and Instagram and things like that. And certain clips popped off here and there, and then jobs started opening up. And then ultimately kind of where it hit a bigger level as I did the Eddie Hall versus Hafthor Bjornsson giant fight in Dubai. And then that's actually where Sky and Boxer discovered me, quote unquote. And they actually messaged me while I was in Dubai, and then waited a couple months, and then I did the first Chris Bone-Smith fight in Bournemouth, and now I'm on the George Groves Boxing Club talking to George and Dec, and it's been crazy.
So my first question is this your actual voice? Because your voice sounds like
he's actually from Derby.
Is this how you always spoke, or have you developed like a more authoritative tone? Because I think that's what you got to have as an MC.
Correct. No, that's a good point. I definitely know how to speak a little bit more formal when I'm in certain settings. So like right now, I'm going to speak a little bit more formal than if I was just hanging out on the couch. But for the most part, this is how I sound.
Okay, that's handy, isn't it? For that it comes naturally to you. You don't have to put anything on.
No, and I think, look, I've said it before, but I'm a glorified public speaker. I'm a public speaker, but with a little bit of nuance to it. And a big part of public speaking is establishing authority. If you want someone to listen to what you have to say and pay attention to what you have to say, you have to present it in a way that commands that, not necessarily respect, but someone to want to hear it. So if I can do certain things to dial up my voice or to make it sound more, pleasing to the ear or sound more formal, then I'm going to do it.
Have you got any tips that you can share with us?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing with speaking is knowing not only how your voice sounds, but also the pattern of your voice, how you enunciate certain words, how you naturally take your tone through a sentence. So if I choose to ramp up something, or if I choose to pause to add emphasis to it, or if I choose to go heavier on certain words, like with welcome on the introduction, those are subtle things that you can do to make yourself a more effective speaker. For me, I loved reading growing up, but I changed as I got older. I started to do better learning from audio and listening to someone speak. And a big thing for me is who I'm listening to, are they capturing my attention with how they speak? Because to me, I prefer that over just someone that's really knowledgeable in their field, but may not know how to be a speaker, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of tricks. And then with announcing, a big one is that I had to learn as I went on with my career is obviously I have a bit more of an animated style to how I announce. A lot of times people, when they want to do that, it's shouting and it's yelling rather than announcing. So there's ways to project your voice, and actually what I call is throwing your voice, to where instead of having to yell at someone to get my point across the room, I can actually take my voice and I can throw it at them to where it sounds the same from a tone standpoint, just at a higher volume, if that makes sense.
Remember the first time you climbed through the ropes and held the mic in your hand? What was going through your head? What were you thinking? And what was the feeling? I mean,
it's funny looking back, because I was crazy nervous. I was in front of 50 people, and I'm like, oh my God, this crowd is so big. Don't mess up. And now do crowds of 20,000 people and I don't feel anything. So it's funny, I definitely remember those nerves. I thought I sounded good. I didn't sound good. I thought I knew what I was doing. I didn't know what I was doing. But reps is more important than anything, to make sure you just are comfortable doing the job.
So that, you said social media really was the key. So this is totally self-generated career, really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and social media was the driving force behind it. A couple of clips went viral. Can you remember what ones they were?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the big thing that social media has become is I've gotten people to talk about the job So I think for a long time, like, everyone recognized what a ring announcer was, because it's kind of this, I've said it before, but my job is semi-ridiculous. And like, I wear a tuxedo, I get into a ring, I yell information that you already know about someone, but it works, and it helps set an atmosphere.
And it's required.
Correct. And it creates, it really makes combat sports unique in that sense. So a big part of what social media became is I just started conversations about ring announcers, because at the time, it was kind of the same people for so long that no one ever just became the same thing over and over again. And now I inject some new life to it, and then conversations started to form. So people started making videos about, is this the next, people thought I was Buffer's son, literally, like, people thought, maybe it's because I'm white and I have slick back hair that people think we're related, but people thought I was related to Buffers. People thought I was their son. And so then conversations started coming around like, oh, like, that is a good point. Like, who is the next ring announcer? Is someone going to take it to the next level? Is someone going to be their own thing? But then I had clips go viral. I remember I introduced one of my good friends for his wedding, and that went big on social media. I remember. Oh,
I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just been handful of things that ultimately kind of led me to where I am now. So I don't know. It's so unique that presenting it to people is fun, because people never really give the job much thought, but when they do, it's actually kind of an interesting conversation. And that's been a big goal for me, is to try to take it to different industries. I've introduced DJs on stage. I've introduced people at their wedding, and it's just kind of it helps take boxing, or at least a component of boxing, to different groups of people, because my job is fairly transferable.
Most boxing fans will grow up with Michael Buffer, as you said, Jimmy Lennon Jr. What do those guys do so well? Why they're so prolific? And they were part of the event, as you say. It is part. You get excited. I've had fights where I've been like, Jimmy Lennon Jr. is going to announce me, and this is so exciting. It's the most exciting thing I've got. Or we've flown Buffer in, at great expense. It's come out of my share of the profit share, but I want Buffer. I'll pay for that. That's amazing.
Right. And that was a big thing for when I started. Is when I started my career, there's no textbook. There's no ring announcing for dummies. I can't search it. There's nothing I can do. So I had to kind of learn on my own. And I come from an academic background. I'm pretty OCD. So I made my own database of ring announcers, and I still have it on my computer. And I remember in the beginning, like, I was able to find all the ring announcers that I could find through social media, through Google searches, because again, there's so little information on the job. But I put it together, and I just started analyzing, like, all right, like, what makes this person unique? Why is this person good at what they do? Is this person, in my opinion, lacking something? Does this person maybe not get the reception that they want? Why are they not getting that reception? So it's looking at the job critically and going, how can I advance this career that's been done by a handful of people? And in my opinion, the people that stand out in the job are the people that had a nuance to it that made them unique. So in my opinion, a big thing that Michael Buffer had was natural charisma. He just, not beyond just looks, but how he talked, how he spoke. His catchphrase obviously was a massive hook. Let's get ready to rumble is still probably the most iconic words in boxing. So that helped him. You compare that and contrast that to his brother Bruce in the UFC, who brought energy and who brought passion and just a different volume and tone to it, right? So that's how he can do it. Jimmy Lennon Jr. I look at as being extremely polished, very consistent. Tone is very consistent. And so that's kind of how his subtle nuance. So when I was looking at it, I was like, all right, well, how can I fit in here, right? How can I have my own style to it all?
It's hard, isn't it? Because you kind of have to be derivative of those. You kind of have to be like, oh no, he's legit. Because he has shades of these people, but you don't want to be a replica. You can't just copy someone. You have to land somewhere in the middle.
Yes, you summed it up very well. And I remember Bruce actually did an interview about this, and I had a little bit of interaction with Bruce around this topic. He got asked, of who's coming up, what would you want to see? And the biggest thing is that Bruce said is they need to be themselves. They can't be a copy of someone. And that was the biggest thing for me. And that's why, as great of compliments as being compared to the Buffers has been, respectfully, I don't want to be the buffers. I want to be me. So a big thing for me is I saw the compare, because in my opinion, the buffers are the two gold standards. Those are my personal favorites. Everyone has their favorites. I saw how each of them brought something special to the event. And what I'm trying to do is trying to see, is there maybe a happy medium between the two? Is there a way to get Buffer's voice and charisma and just kind of Michael's smoothness to it all, but then also have shades of Bruce's excitement and energy and volume? Is there maybe a happy medium between the two? So that's kind of what I've tried to go for almost. But then it goes even further of, what is, your catchphrases and how you dress and how you present yourself and your mannerisms. So there's a lot of nuance to it. For example, one thing that I always liked about Bruce is he's very active in the ring. He moves around the ring. He gets in the fighters' faces and things like that if the fighter likes it. I like that aspect of it. But in boxing, it may not be as applicable because there's more people in the ring. So one thing that I do is I kind of change my stance. I don't stand straight up. I kind of go at a staggered stance, kind of get command more space in the ring. So again, it's just, I think there's more detail to it than people may recognize, but it all leads to, in my opinion, what can be a good aspect of the show.
Yeah, I mean, you can't waste a word.
No.
You can't hesitate.
No.
You have to be perfect and completely polished. I think it's one of the hardest jobs in boxing. It really is.
There's no margin for error. So after the Eddie Hall fight, so then this deal comes along from Boxer, or is it Sky? Who do you work for? Is it?
So I technically work for Boxer.
Okay,
but,
and that's the promoter. For those who don't know, that's the promoter, and their broadcast partner is Sky.
Right.
So you're on there.
Yeah.
So then, how did that unrock? Because that is a massive job.
Yeah. So they saw me on Eddie Thor. And actually, I've learned more about this story as it's proceeded because Andy Scott told me his side from Sky. But Baz from Boxer found me. He messaged me. He actually took it to Sky. Members of Sky were like, because I wore sunglasses at the time. Like I was kind of hokey with everything. But I did that. Like all of those decisions were to help be a visual aesthetic, to help me kind of be noticed and break out because I knew where I wanted to be. I didn't want to be on the regional scene. I knew that I had the skill set and the ability to be on the big fights. I wanted to do it. So I needed to do things to kind of help get my name out there. So they just hit me up and they were like, hey, we'd love to do a test run with you. And I was like, great, let's do it. And they're like, all right, well, let's, pump your brakes. Like, let's bring you out for, it was Chris Billum-Smith's debut in Bournemouth. And I was like, all right, cool. And they're like, well, we just want this to be a test run. I was like, great, I'll do it for free. Whatever. Like, I believe in my work. I have no problem. Let me just come out and do it for you. So I came out. It went well. I think it went well. Apparently it went pretty well. I'm still here. And that was pretty much it. And that was funny looking back because that Bournemouth atmosphere was great. I believe that the MC plays an important role in the atmosphere. And it all just worked.
That was the Chamberlain fight.
Yes.
Yeah, crazy atmosphere.
Yeah.
Has anyone accused you of a fake American accent yet?
No.
Because when every MC is American in the UK, or
Right.
all the big ones, and you're like, I wonder if you're just from like Kent.
Yeah.
So people on
It's
the
all a
internet
blag.
sometimes think that. I'll read comments and they go, "This guy's faking it. He's not real." And blah blah. Like, I've met MCs that fake an American accent, which is interesting.
There's one. I don't want to name it. This is probably give it away, but I think he's Finnish or something like that, and his accent is really. But he would have done you because I think he did Sauerland.
Tuchel.
Yeah. Love him, but his accent is like.
He probably grew up watching American TV.
Yeah.
Right.
And you're like, what?
So he's learned English,
Yeah.
but probably American English.
Yeah.
So he's got an accent.
Luckily
But he's really good as well.
Yeah, yours is American though, because that's where you're from.
I'm American.
And you're from. So we spoke before. You're from Denver, Colorado.
Yes, I'm from Denver.
So what are the nuts and bolts of it? You fly in.
Yep.
Just for the show.
Yep.
For the fight week.
Well, I do. Yeah. So I fly in for the whole fight week. I like doing the whole fight week. I like doing the whole card. Some announcers don't always like doing that. I do. So yeah, fly in, fly out. It's good. I like it. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot of travel, but I mean, I was 26 when I announced Shields Marshall. Like, I'm not going to pass up on those opportunities if they feel like I'm adequate for the job and I'm the right guy. Like, Sky is an amazing platform. I believe Sky has the best product of boxing in terms of how it's produced, the team behind it. I mean, you've worked with them before. It's an all-star team down to the director, the producers, like the camera people, like the sound engineers. Like, it's a massive production. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of really showcasing boxing on a proper level, because I think the product is important and we all play a role in the product, whether you're a commentator, whether you're an announcer, whether you're a sound engineer, whether you're a whip, like whatever you do, like you're contributing to a product that could be consumed by a lot of people. And I think for a long time, the product of boxing was neglected. And then we wonder why the UFC came in and made such a ruckus. It's because they put forth a better product. The production was better, the atmosphere was better, the energy was better, everything was better, and it pulled a lot of fans away. So I'm looking at this opportunity in boxing going like, man, like we can really put together an amazing product that really could pull over and maintain this viewership in boxing. I think a huge mistake that promoters make is if you ask a promoter who your competition is, they're going to list off the other promoters. I think it's way deeper than that, because you have to understand that your competition is anything else that a viewer could consume instead of your product. You're not competing against other boxing promoters for someone to watch your show. You're competing against every other channel. You're competing against Netflix, Amazon, all these different streamers. You're competing against them listening to music. You're competing against them going to a concert. You're competing against them not watching TV at all. So if we're asking fans to sit down and watch 3 hours, 4 hours, if we're asking people to pay upwards of 10 grand for a ticket to sit at a fight, like they deserve a show. They deserve a level of entertainment. They deserve something that keeps their attention. And I believe the announcer, the teams behind that, they can help contribute to the overall product. So I take a lot of pride in that.
Mo, are you allowed to have a total free reign now of the look you come? Maybe they might have said no sunglasses, Mo, but how you show up, what you wear, almost what you say when you choose your catchphrases, stuff like that?
I mean, I think I think within reason, of course, obviously, and I think that trust has been built up with myself and with Sky and with Boxer. And I think a lot of it just comes down to that I'm a team player. Like I'm not like, I come from a sports background, and it's been fun because I work more in entertainment than I do in sports. Like we work in sports, but television is more the entertainment side, which I love. And so it's fun taking the lessons that I learned from playing a team sport to entertainment, because it's the same general concept. We're all in the same team. We all play a role. None of us can play each other's role on the night of the show. So if we want to create this good product, then we all need to bring our best, and we all kind of need to be together. That's why I show up to production meetings, and that's why you look to me for pronunciation on names. Great, awesome. We're all in this kind of show together, and it would be a mistake for me to just say, nah, I'll show up 5 minutes before. Good luck, guys. Have fun. That doesn't help. And also with me trying to elevate myself and my brand and the product that I represent, the product succeeding means that I benefit from that also. So I would be foolish to just, no, you guys do your job. We'll see you at the end of the show. Have fun. Like that sucks. That's not, and that goes even further down to, being friendly with the sound people, being friendly with the cameramen, being friendly with the editors, being friendly with the producers. Like all of them have an effect on my job. If I don't know if I can curse here, but if I'm a dick to the sound engineer, and the sound engineer is responsible for me getting my cues, then me being a dick can hurt me doing my job well. So I never understood the concept of like being a diva or anything like that, because I'm not above anyone else. Yeah, I wear a tuxedo. Yeah, the light's on me. Yeah, I have the microphone, but I'm no more important than the other commentators or the people that work on the product. We're all kind of in this together.
Catchphrase wise, now we know that some MCs, some announcers have trademarked, and they're not allowed to say it. I've seen people go up to Buffer and be like, get ready to rumble, and he's like, no. He won't say it. He has to like tweak it a little bit. So what are we allowed to say? Who's got what?
So there are catchphrases that are trademarked. Obviously, Let's Get Ready to Rumble is the most notable. I know Bruce has It's Time. Bruce also has We Are Live. But also part of catchphrases is how you say it too. So the problem with intellectual property, specifically with spoken word, is there's a lot of gray area. I know this because certain announcers have tried to accuse me of certain things. I'm not gonna name names, but whatever.
Don't name them.
No, it's not worth it. But it's one of those things as to where when you have such a nuanced job, there's only so many ways you can say certain things. Like, so you are kind of limited. Like, I mean, ladies and gentlemen's not trademarked, but it's kind of like that. It's like, all right, well, how else do you want me to say certain things? So there's a lot of nuance with it. IP is a dark gray area of law to where you kind of really have to have well-written trademarks, and then there's a supplemental trademark list, and it's just kind of a mess. So the biggest thing is just paying attention to what's said and trying not to copy or emulate. Truthfully, I don't care about catchphrases very much. To me, I think I don't want to lean on a catchphrase, because if you have a good enough relationship with your audience and you've created a good enough atmosphere, what you say shouldn't really matter. In my opinion, if you command this authority, if you take the crowd on a ride with you, if they've been engaged with you since the first fight, then whether or not I say this or that in the main event, it shouldn't matter. I think crowds they are reflective of energy and of passion and setting a stage for an event. So I do have catchphrases. They mean something to me, but they're not like, I'm not glued to them by any means, because I care more about how I do the job. I care more about the brand that I create of myself, the connection that I have with the crowd, the relationships that I have with the fans, the amount that I interact with them is really important. So that I kind of pay attention to more.
What crowds have been good? Is there any that stand out? Any parts of the UK that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. The UK has the best fans in the world, and I can say that. Like, I'm American. I love America. I'm proud American. The fandom here is a different level, and I love it. And I actually think that, you know, my first job working on the big level of combat sports like I am now, the fact that I do it with the UK has actually been helpful for me, because I do bring this kind of new style to boxing announcing, to where if a crowd didn't really feel comfortable getting energized with me, I'm not sure it would work always. So the UK fans have been great. I mean, Bournemouth is awesome every time. I mean, when Smith Eubank and all the Scousers turned up, that's always great. Liverpool always shows out for their own. So, I mean, I don't like looking at it in that way, because I go into it saying, I don't care who's in the crowd. I'm going to get them going. I'm going to get the atmosphere going. I'm going to get them revved up and ready for this fight. So I don't like to have favorites in terms of audiences.
I like a catchphrase, I'll be honest. I like if you came out and did exactly the same every time, that just sets the zone that I know, right, the boxing's coming now. And I quite like, even as the fighter, if you got used to the MC, you ring walk, you're ready, and there's words that you want to hear, and then that's like it's a cue
certainly
to go in.
Certainly,
because you do get your. I'm not going to do it. Get your glasses up high. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
That's cool. So how did you come up with it? Did it take a long time? Did you play with it? Is it like a stand-up comic who goes and tests the crowd and goes, we need to develop this?
Hold on. You nailed it, actually. Yeah, it's funny that you say that. You're the first one to kind of come to that conclusion. So when I was learning the job and practicing the job and having reps, and again, there was so little background information on the job, I was like, where else can I learn from? So I started paying attention to other types of public speakers to get an idea of nuances in terms of how they do their job. So I did look at motivational speakers. I looked at pastors, like in America, like really Southern Baptist pastors are crazy animated and they get the crowd into it. But stand-up comedians is another one, because stand-up comedians, in the same way, they are a singular person that is trying to elicit a reaction from a crowd. The difference is they're looking for laughter. I'm looking for energy and cheering, but the core responsibility is the same. And so I did look at stand-up comedians. I did look at different types of speakers. How I looked at my catchphrase is, again, looking at what's already been done. A lot of announcers, they set the stage for the event. This is the main event. Jimmy Lennon says, it's showtime, right? Michael Buffer was a little different, because he said, let's get ready to rumble. So he kind of got the crowd into it. So I was like, all right, that's kind of interesting. It's kind of bringing the crowd and you together. You're talking from a collective standpoint. So I was like, what if I talk to the crowd directly? So I was like, that's why I always say you. That's why I always look at the camera. That's why I always talk to the audience directly, is because a lot of MCs, they don't take that approach. So that's why I always have actions with it. That's why I always, like, I start the shows with, can you hear me, to do a little bit of call and reaction, to where it's like I'm actually talking to all these people. I'm actually speaking to an audience of people. So that's why Raise Your Drinks High and Get Wild, all that is if I can almost kind of be a lead to them of an action that I want them to do or them to be comfortable with, then I should talk to them directly. And if I can build a atmosphere to where they feel like it's a one-on-one connection with the person that's talking to them, well, then maybe that's an effective way to get my point across.
It's hard, isn't it? Because a lot of it's been taken, been said already. So you kind of have to...
And everything's trademarked.
Yeah.
Or if I say anything similar, I'm going to get a cease and desist in my mail. It's like, all right.
So like, for instance, somebody's always got to go, which is not anyone's particular. It just means if 2 undefeated fighters. But I heard, like, David Diamante, his own one, saying, he started saying, we got a nix a nil. And it just sounded a bit like... Just say somebody's always got to go, but he's just trying to find something else that he can bring on board, and he can be like, oh, that can be my thing. So that must be hard to try and find new stuff.
It is.
It's been going on for years.
It is hard because, again, there's only so many ways that you can say it, and you don't want to be a full departure of what people are comfortable for, because then it's something totally new and different to where they may not be totally receptive of. So yeah, there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of gray area with the job of, okay, can I say that? Oh, wait, that's trademarked? Okay, well, I mean, how else do I say, can I say that? No? Okay, well, shit. Like, so it's maybe finding a couple synonyms that are different. It's, so it's just, I don't know, it's tricky for the most part. And that's the reason why I don't lean on certain words or certain catchphrases, because everyone's got their own thing. So if I focus more on how I announce, how I have energy, how I have presence, how I command, maybe respect or authority, then I care about that a little bit more, because then I'm not leaning on a certain word, or I'm not leaning on semantics or anything like that.
So you have had some legal heat then? You have?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell us.
Got a name.
No. I've gotten a couple letters where people accuse me of stealing their words or things like that. It's never been the Buffers. I have a good relationship with them, but limited relationship, but I haven't interacted with them, so it's never been that. But yeah, I've gotten a couple letters where, like, you're stealing this and this and this and this is too similar, and it's never been a copy. It's always been like, this is too similar. I'm like, okay, now it's I understand if I'm copying you verbatim, but now it's like, now I can't say something that's even close. Like, it's like, come on. So it's just, but again, at that point, I'm just like, whatever. Like, I'm 28. I have plenty of my career to go. I'm not here because of the words that I say. I'm here because of the way that I do the job, and that's what I focus on more.
But on the other hand, if you turned on your TV and you heard someone saying, raise your drinks high and let's get wild, would you be like, whoa?
Right. And so but again, there's give and take to it all.
Right.
And I think, and again, that's the gray area of IP law, is you have things that are trademarks, but then you also have a concept of common law trademark. Okay, common law trademark basically means, okay, I may not have a licensed trademark for this word or for this phrase, but I have so much proof of using in the market for so long that I do have a defense. But again, you get in the gray area of it. Is it a direct copy, or is it just similar? So now we're talking about something similar of a common law. But again, this is why IP attorneys get paid a good amount of money, is because there's a lot of reading between the lines and red tape and things like that. So it's a mess.
Have you trademarked How About That Then, Dec, yet?
Not yet, no, but I'm thinking about it. I had a legal battle with Gucci once. So I was trying to patent GG.
The GG.
Yeah.
Logos are, so were you trying to patent the logo?
Yeah, I had a logo. My logo is my logo. I own it. And then it was like, I was like, well, I got like sports attire, or I don't know what the wording was. And they were like, no, we want that. I was like, you make belts and shoes and shit watches. Like, no, I'm having t-shirt and shorts, yeah? And your G's go the wrong way round.
Started calling out Lady Gaga.
Mine are solid. Anyway, yeah.
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 How did that go? Did they sue you, or?
We came to an agreement.
You backed down, didn't you?
Yeah.
Bottled it.
Yeah. Cease and assist.
The House of Gucci.
Yeah.
What about nuts and bolts on the night? We had Mike Costello in there, obviously the commentator, and he said, he doesn't speak for the day before, or very limited, doesn't drink any alcohol, all that sort of stuff. What do you do to preserve the voice?
I mean,
Go on podcasts.
so well, yeah.
Let's go have the rest of the day off now.
Yeah.
So I have worked with a couple vocal coaches, and I have taken tips from opera singers and things like that on how to preserve the voice. I mean, I don't smoke, for one. Smoking is very, very bad for your vocal cords, for your lungs. I actually went to an ear, nose, and throat specialist. It's funny because, again, I'm applying strategies of being an athlete to what I do now. So I went to this ear, nose, and throat specialist to get kind of my vocal cords looked at, and they'd never met a ring announcer before because most people have never met a ring announcer before. So what they did is they actually stuck a camera down my throat, and they had me announce with a camera in my throat to see how my vocal cords moved. And they actually...
Have you got footage of that?
No, I actually do. I actually do, yeah. Because my vocal cords actually behave differently than what's normal. So most vocal cords, and this was explained to me, I'm not a doctor, but most vocal cords close, open, and flush like this. Mine actually overlap. So that kind of gets how I can get a little bit of a growl sound to how I announce. When I go a little deep, I can kind of get a little bit of a growl. I think that I kind of trained myself to do that because I played the saxophone when I was young, and you can kind of growl with the saxophone. So maybe that's how. So they said your vocal cords kind of behave a little differently. So I guess I'm a mutant sent to this planet to ring announce, supposedly.
So the name of this podcast, you can growl with a saxophone.
One more question before we have a break. You got a feature in you. I just wanted to. I wondered. I'm not sure if this has happened to you or you've had to do this yet. But you know when you get one person does like the undercard, and then they get like buffering or someone else. Have you had to do that?
I don't like doing that.
No.
And I've refused that work before, and I've also refused someone to do the undercard before. And again, it comes down to we are asking these people to watch 4 hours of a show. I want to be with them the whole 4 hours. And also respect to the undercard fighters. They're there too. There may be world champions on that undercard that we don't know about. So I want to announce them also. It also is a good way for me to warm up to the main event. I don't just want to come in cold. So I like doing the whole show. And I kind of took that from Bruce because Bruce does the whole shows for the UFC. So I like doing the whole card. It's not, it's no knock to if you don't. If you just want to do the main event, do your thing. I just like to do the whole show, personally.
Good answer, that.
Very good answer.
You got a feature?
I got a feature. Let's have a break.
Let's have a break first. Cool. George, remind me again, how become an elite club member?
Well, get a GGBC cap.
Done. What else?
Well, you could wear the hoodie.
Anything else?
Well, have you got a water bottle?
Anything else?
You could get a print for the wall.
It's cost me a fortune. Anything else?
Well, this is what it takes to be elite, Dec.
Does that mean I'm in the club now?
Nearly. One last thing. Just hit the follow button in your podcast app. Welcome to the club, Dec.
Oh, we'll have a push and a pull, mate.
We are back. It's feature time.
It's feature time.
So, Mo, every week we have a feature. And the feature is always a quiz.
It's always a quiz.
It's a quiz.
Ooh.
Right, so we've got a quiz today.
Actually, we actually both wrote a feature for you, but we're going with George's.
Yeah.
So we parked the other one. The other one, and we'll repackage it for someone else. We won't tell them that.
Okay.
But,
all right.
But this is how excited we were about writing a feature.
Yeah. So
what's your one?
Because the name of the feature. Something that rhymes with Mo, which could be lots of different stuff,
big.
which is great. Or big. Did you go with a
No.
big one? No.
Mine was actually called Mo Money, Mo Problems.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought, but it is Mo Money, Mo Problems. So
Yeah.
I like to change it.
Oh, yeah, I know you do. Yeah.
Yeah. So I had Mo Limits.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, he likes that. Yeah. Ready, steady, Mo.
Okay.
That's rubbish.
Pimps and Mo's.
I hope you haven't landed on that.
Mo Retreat, Mo Surrender.
Or like that. Yeah.
Mo to jail. Do not pass Mo. Do not collect $200.
Mo Sislak.
Mo Solid Crew.
Nice.
You were late doing this. You're like, I'm on fire.
Yeah.
It was going to be, boxing, So Solid Crew, Word Smash, but I thought, no way.
Yeah, I'd be alright.
You would win.
How's your UK garage knowledge? Bad.
Different cars?
So, yeah. So I went with Mo Limits, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So Mo Limits.
Let me guess,
right?
a weight class.
Mo is your alias, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So you're Big Mo, right? So I've got a list of fighters here whose alias is similar to Big, right?
Okay.
So
this is nice.
I want to I'll give you a little bit about the fighter, and I need to know what their A-listers was and who it was. Yeah. So an example would be heavyweight fighter who reigned as heavyweight champion at the age of 45 in 1994.
Big George Foreman.
Big George Foreman.
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
So
Got it. This is gonna be tricky.
Yeah, it might be. Oh, you're our guest today, Mo. So do you want to go first or second?
I'll go first.
First. Okay. Right. Yeah. This is a nice, easy one, especially for you.
Well, not that easy, fucking hell.
British heavyweight who's a bronze medalist in Tokyo. He's part of the boxer setup.
Tokyo was 20.
British heavyweight.
All right, so you stop saying it.
All right.
Big phrase.
Big Fraser Clark.
I had to come back to the big.
Good.
I was like, I
like
forgot that aspect.
This will be comfortable.
He was actually a super heavyweight.
He's a heavyweight
in
now.
Tokyo, yeah, but
I said British heavyweight,
yeah,
so he's a heavyweight now.
Yeah,
I didn't say he won.
Yeah, but I was thinking 91. You should have been just be a bit more, just more clarity.
Okay. Right. Right. American.
Yes.
Former professional boxer. Yeah. So he's retired. He competed between 1989 and 2008. He held the undisputed World Heavyweight Championship in 1992, and he also won the Super Heavyweight silver medal in the 88 Summer Olympics.
Big Daddy Bo?
Yeah.
Riddick Bo?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Riddick Big Daddy Bo.
Big Daddy, baby.
Right.
Now they're going to get hard. Because he's always got a couple that are okay and then they go weird.
Yeah.
Are we on the weird ones?
No, ready? Right. Controversial American. I mean, that's already the giveaway. Right. He was a former kickboxer. He competed in the heavyweight division. Came to prominence in 2007.
Oh, God.
Competed for the New Jersey Tigers. I know you're an American martial arts fan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he got to the final of the New York Golden Gloves tournament of the same year. Right, a big heavyweight.
Pressure's on, mate, 'cause I got it.
I'm a pass.
Jarrell Big Baby Miller.
Yeah.
Come on, 2-1. I'm in business now.
Oh,
Right, this one's come for you, right?
Okay.
English former professional boxer. He competed in 2000, 2013. He is a 3 times challenger for the British heavyweight title. So that's the level, right?
Yeah.
His last fight was in March 13. He won the English title.
Heavyweight, 2000 to 2013.
He had 2 losses to Tyson Fury.
Oh, it's John McDermott. And he's Big John McDermott?
Yeah, not enough.
Giant John?
No.
I don't know his nickname.
Big Bad.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm not giving you a point for
No,
that.
can't have that. Big Bad John McDermott, is that what it's called?
John McDermott, yeah.
Oh, I love Big John McDermott. Arguably beat Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
I didn't want to put that in, but
Yeah, yeah.
glad you did, yeah.
Right.
All right.
Right, Mo, you could get back.
Here we go. Right.
Peg in here.
This is easy, yeah. All right. British professional boxer.
Okay.
Right. He held the WBO interim heavyweight title in 2022.
Are they all heavyweights?
2023. Well, yeah, they are.
Yeah,
He's also a silver medalist.
He's a current heavyweight British boxer.
He's still boxing.
Repeat the second clue.
He's a silver medalist.
Yeah.
That's the way for you, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to add some more details.
No, don't add any more detail. What are the years? He's still going now.
He's still boxing now, and then he had the WBO interim heavyweight title. You know, like last year.
Yeah.
So he's near the top of his game, but he hasn't got that belt anymore. So he might have lost recently.
This is embarrassing. I feel like I should know this.
Yeah, you're going to kick yourself.
I'm probably going to.
Big juggernaut, Joe Joyce.
Oh, I didn't know he goes by Big Juggernaut. I was thinking Joe. Well, I first was going to go Big Bang Zhang, and then you said he was
nice.
British. So I was like, all right,
British.
that's not it.
Yeah, no, the Juggernaut is essentially
I didn't know he goes by
means a
Big
giant.
Juggernaut.
No, the Juggernaut's a vehicle.
Immovable force.
Yeah.
All right, I contend
big
that
one.
decision.
It was big. I looked it up.
That's semantics.
Going to have to swallow that. Cease and desist it.
Right, here we go.
Here we go.
You ready for this one, Dave?
I'm so ready.
Heavyweight who made his debut in 1949. A poll in Ring magazine rated him as one of the finest boxers to never win a world title. Right, he finished with 82, 13 and 2, and he has 2 losses to Liston and 1 to Ali. Do you remember who that was?
Big Cat Cleveland Williams.
Yes, very good. Very good.
The biggest
very
cat
good.
of all. That Ali performance against Cleveland Williams is his best performance. Ali's best
You've
performance.
seen every
Go
one
and
of his
watch it.
fights? Have you seen every Ali fight?
Maybe not the first like 7, but I've
Then
watched
you
basically
can't-
every one. Go and watch that fight and tell me it's not the best one. It's the
I've seen
one where,
clips of it.
you know, the famous picture where he's out like this, Cleveland Williams on the floor, like flat, the vertical one. It's from
Is
that
that
fight.
not Liston?
Nope. Liston's the one where he's over him, like, meh. Go and watch that Cleveland Williams fight. Fucking
All right.
unbelievable. Anyway,
Here we go.
you're going to have to get going there, Mo. 'cause
Number
you're in
7,
I
trouble.
Mo.
contend that I've gotten 2.
Right, here we go. This
don't worry, we can just edit it anyway.
is your forte, right? 16-0 American heavyweight with 15 KOs.
Big Baby Anderson.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Jared. He calls himself the real Big Baby Anderson, but he is
Yeah.
Big Baby Anderson.
Yeah, yeah.
But I
Very
think
good.
Since, right, here we go.
Yeah.
Right, number 8, Dec.
How many we got? 30.
10.
Okay, good.
30. Russian politician. Former professional boxer. Right, he competed in boxing from 1993 to 2009. Right,
93.
and he held the WBA heavyweight title between 2005 and 2009.
It'd be like Ruslan Chagayev. I don't know what
Think about it. Russian.
Russian. What's his?
And he
what's his
lost
last-
it in 2009. Who beat a Russian in 2009? One of Mo's heroes.
David A.
Yeah.
David A. What was a Russian? Oh, what's his face? Big. What's his name? That fucking massive guy, David Goliath. What's his name? I've lost it. You got it?
It's the one he came over and fought. It was his heavy.
He's like 7 foot.
Yeah, yeah. Oh wow.
Fuck, what's his name? That guy. Valuev. Nikolai Valuev.
Yeah,
What
what's
was
his
he called?
alias?
Don't know. Giant.
Big.
Yeah, the Russian
The
giant.
Russian giant.
Yes.
Nikolai Valuev. Is he a politician now?
Yeah, cool.
I'm
Apparently
sure-
so.
I'm sure his
Why would he not? He's a
negotiations go
poet. I know he's a
incredibly
poet.
well.
I've read his.
Yeah, he's a poet. Yeah.
He's a
All in
poet.
Russian, yeah.
Oh, never would have guessed.
He's quite a deep thinker.
He is. He didn't like being called Goliath, did he? Remember in that
Lovely lad.
fight?
Did he
David
not?
and Goliath. He was
David
like, I am
punched
no
his
Goliath.
head like off, but not actually his own head. It was a poster thing.
Yeah,
David was savage.
yeah. And the Klitschko with
David,
the
David's the
two
man.
severed heads.
We were. David's a man.
Right,
Last one.
one each, right?
One each.
American professional boxer. He competed in 1953 to 1970. Right, dominant contender of his era. Right, he became the heavyweight champion in 1962 after knocking out Floyd Patterson in the first round. Do you remember who beat Patterson to become world champion?
I'm getting trivia that's 70 years before I was born,
Yeah.
in boxing. I'm
Knocked him out twice, actually. Back-to-back fights.
Was it back-to-back fights? Yeah.
not sure.
Go on then. But what was his alias?
Big.
And
Big bad Sonny Liston.
it wasn't bad. No, that was John McDermott.
Big tall.
No,
Big hands. He had massive hands.
he did.
What was he called?
What? Yeah, pick an animal.
Fox.
Big Bear.
Chicken.
Yeah.
Oh, Big Bear.
Big Bear, Sonny Liston.
I've never heard
Oh,
that.
Half a point each for that.
Yeah.
Right.
One more.
You need this one for the
Okay,
tiebreaker.
yeah,
right?
next goal wins.
Right. Chinese boxer.
Big Bang
Big
Jag.
Bang.
Yes. I think I've got to put that as got to be a win.
Yeah, I think.
I mean,
won.
I said Big Bang Zang earlier, but I'll give it to
Yeah.
Yeah, Big Bang Jang.
Who was the Galveston Giant?
Galveston Giant.
Who was the Galveston Giant?
Name rings a bell. Any ideas, Mo?
you. No.
Jack Johnson.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
About 100 years before you were born.
See, I'm embarrassed because before the break you were like, "How good is your boxing knowledge?" I'm like, "Pretty good."
Well,
I didn't realize I was going to be going back to 1950. But
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what he
It's
does.
all right.
Give us an insight on that because you mentioned there. So you could get up to speed with British boxing because obviously
Yeah.
you're an American comes in to this sport, this British sport, and this little sphere.
yeah.
You to prepare for that, you've been watching the old fights. You've been going through George fights and stuff like that.
Yeah. So
just to
I
get up to speed.
I mean, obviously, I think that the storylines and the stories around British boxing is what makes it, to me, so special. Like, obviously, the fighting is phenomenal, but I love the storylines behind it. I love the politics behind it. I love all that stuff. And it's obviously uniquely interesting because I came into a situation where Sky had a new promoter. Obviously, Matchroom and Sky had their relationship for a long time, which created a lot of great memories. So I've been trying to educate myself on everything that kind of predated me, and just to have a general idea because I'm meeting all these people. I'm like, wait, who's that? And I go, oh, okay, that's so and so. So I've had to like take a crash course because again, I'm 28, so I'm kind of new to this whole thing. So I've just kind of had to learn quickly on the fly, but I've loved it. Like, I think the boxing here is phenomenal. I wish it had more publicity worldwide because the storylines here are so great. I mean, you go back and you watch those press conferences. I remember the first time I saw the clip of, I mean, we talk about David Hay, but when David Hay glassed Derek Chisora, I mean, that's a wild clip.
Yeah, that's
one of the wildest clips I've ever seen.
He glassed me.
I thought I was, but I don't think I actually was.
It was in Germany somewhere.
Yeah, he went out to watch Klitschko, so I didn't go. I didn't know that was going to happen. If I knew that was happening, I probably would have gone.
Absolutely. So I just think there's amazing story. I mean, obviously, Froch Groves goes back and, you know, you're gonna cry, like all that's like all that's. I don't know. I just love like all those clips. It's I don't know. That's the stuff that I love. I love the boxing. Obviously, I love watching the fights. I try to watch every fight that I can, but it's everything that surrounds it that I've become really kind of glued to, which may be a bad thing, but I love it.
You were in that camp then. It's true, isn't it, that David accidentally hit Adam Booth with a tripod, because you know it all goes off.
Yeah.
Hits Booth with a tripod of his own training. Apparently bought him a car to say sorry. No, I wasn't. I was somewhere else.
You got hit with that tripod.
I was like, fucking use my tripod. But yeah, he bought him a car to say sorry.
That's not a bad deal.
Beamer or something like that.
Yeah.
Does he get in with a tripod?
Yeah,
all right.
He probably did his head. But on the subject of foreign stuff, so obviously all of your ones are in the UK, so you get this great atmosphere in most places. Some places are dead in the UK still, but most nights are big. Mm-hmm. How would you handle it, or would it have to be a different job? Say you go to Saudi, where it's clearly, or Saudi for instance, where it's clearly just a different vibe altogether. Would you have to change that? Would you have to alter what you do? Are you going to do the same thing and hope for the same results?
I mean, I would do it. I would do it the same way. I did it the same way when we were in Paris, France, for when Dan Aziz went over, and that was the Joka Takum fight. I did it the same way in Poland for the Rosenski-Babic fight.
That was mad, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
that crowd.
But again, I contend that a good speaker can help pull that out of people, and I'm confident in the ability that I do. So I sit here going, yeah, if they want me in Saudi, I guarantee you I would get the atmosphere going. I believe in the level that I do the job and how I can do it and the way that I build relationships with the crowd that I'm there. I absolutely believe I could. So it's one of those things as to where I'm not going to change how I do my job. And I remember Johnny Nelson, who's become a friend and a mentor to me, the first thing that he said when I did the show in Bournemouth is he pulled me aside, and I've told this story a dozen times because I think it's important to the concept of the job. He said, when you started announcing, I couldn't tell if I liked it. And I go, all right, well, nice to meet you too. And he goes, but you made me pay attention to what you had to say. And he goes, you made the entire arena pay attention to what you had to say, which is the most important and the most difficult part of the job because so many people tune out. He goes, I watched everyone in the crowd when you started turn, put their phones down, or maybe they took their phones out to record a video. He goes, that's when I knew that you had something. And so I think that if I take that same concept, I don't think there's a single crowd in the world I couldn't get juiced.
Is it more important to be engaging with the TV audience or with the crowd in the arena?
Great question.
And is there anything you do, like to say the crowd that works well with the crowd, but it just doesn't manifest on TV?
So I think that is probably the thing that makes my job the most unique is I am the only person that does that. I'm the only person that talks to both the in-arena crowd and the crowd that's watching at home. Commentators only talk to the crowd that's at home. Anything music that goes on is typically only right for the in-arena. So I'm the only one that kind of bridges that gap. So again, that's why eye contact is important. That's why talking directly to the consumer and the viewer is really important, because if I say you, that can apply to the 20,000 people that are in the arena, or it could apply to the X 100,000 million viewers that are watching it on television. And so I think the big thing is talking directly to the camera, because if I talk to the camera, I'm still announcing to the whole venue, but I'm able to do both audiences at the same time. So Sky, for example, likes that because they do a lot of camera angles. And I was talking to the Sky producers about this, before they would have a camera angle and it would just be watching the announcer talk to the crowd. That doesn't help the viewer at home. But if I look at the camera and now I'm making eye contact with someone that's watching on TV, theoretically, they should feel immediately more attached to the product versus if they were just watching something like from afar, if that makes sense.
What's the big dream? What's the main goal, final destination?
So, I mean, I want to announce on the biggest stage possible. I love combat sports. I think that combat sports is the greatest sport in the world. And I say it collectively because there is a lot of crossover. We see it, right? I believe it's the greatest sport in the world, and I want to help take it to new groups of people. How all this started is I remember I had a friend group. I still have a friend group. And in college, we like to party. We like to go out. I used to live in a party house, things like that. And I remember I used to put fights on during the pregame, and we used to, and none of my friends understood what was going on, but there was one thing that they could relate to, and that was the atmosphere. The reason why everyone loves Ringwalks, the reason why everyone loves the atmosphere is because you don't have to be a boxing nut to enjoy that. That's why they always bring in performers, is because it helps bring in viewership that may not understand what a split decision is or what a 10-8 round is. I don't care if you don't know that. That's fine. I just want you to be a part of boxing. And if you start out just liking the ring walks, but it gets you to watch the show, hell yeah, love that. I've gotten you there. So the goal of my career is to help bring new audiences to this sport, because I believe my job is easily transferable. I think sometimes, whether you're the boxer, whether you're the fighter, whatever, sometimes you're not as easily transferable because there's not always a situation where you need a boxer, you need a fighter, but there may not always be a situation where you need an announcer, but there may be some give and take to either role. So the biggest goal for me is to help bring new people to the sport. I want to help bring this sport to new levels. I would love to hopefully work on a show that breaks attendance records. You know, right now on paper, my goal would be to do Wembley Stadium with 80,000 people. I've seen what I can help do with 20. You gave me 80. We're going to cause probably a mini earthquake. But I would also love to help take it to new levels, right? I would love to see if we could ever do, I think the biggest fight is 100K. I think Jack Johnson had a fight where it was like 100, 110. All I'm saying is they've done concerts at Copacabana Beach in Brazil that had 1 million people. You know, maybe let's see where combat sports go. Let's get 1 million people at a fight. I have no idea. That'd be kind of cool.
Brazil.
Yeah, Big Mo in Brazil.
Yeah.
I just think if I did a crowd that big and I just died right there, I'd be good. Announce the fight with 1 million people, and then the lights go out.
We don't die on stage.
I'm good.
Yeah, that would kill the atmosphere. Unintended. We need one more thing, George.
Yeah, we do, Mo. So we asked every guest to give us what would be their ringwalk track if they were to ringwalk for themselves.
He's thought about this.
Have they got one? We add it to our playlist on Spotify. Shout out Spotify.
Spotify.
You might have already had this. You might have already been asked this.
Well, I think the most applicable one is I've said I've played the saxophone in the past. I'm a ring announcer, so Let Me Clear My Throat.
Nice.
I think that's got to be my
marquee.
song. Yeah, I think that's got to be my song.
Would you do the beatboxing?
I can't.
You could do like Adrian Broner wrapped himself in, Big Mo beatboxes his way in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With saxophone and gloves on.
I think if I ever did a crossover fight and if I ever got in the ring, I think it'd be interesting if I introduced myself, but that would be a little arrogant, okay. So I'm not sure I would do that.
Who would you, which MC would you most like to have a fight with?
I mean, none of them. That's the other thing is I actually don't know a lot of them.
There's no crossover, is there?
Not really.
Have you met any of them?
I mean, I've met a few and I've made friends with a few, but I also just haven't really met that. It's a very individualistic job, and I just really haven't had a chance to meet a whole lot.
Got any beef with any of them?
Nah, not really.
Not yet.
What has like friends, family, fans asked you to announce that you're like, absolutely fucking not? Like you said, you've done a friend's wedding. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Significant for them. Like, is there any, sweet 16s?
Christmas dinner.
Christmas dinner.
I mean, I would do it. I mean, the money's right, I'll do anything.
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, not really. I mean, I don't know. I think I could do a lot of different things with it. I remember a big thing is I remember I introduced a DJ once. That was pretty cool. I've seen Michael Buffer introduce Jay-Z once, which would be sick. So just, I don't know, different ways to do it. I think I'm kind of open to anything. And I think everyone deserves a good introduction. I think that someone's name is their identity, and people like being introduced. So I think it works.
Steve, have we got a line that we can ask Big Mo to announce that's going to obviously go viral?
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to your main event of your podcast listening experience, and welcome to the George Groves Boxing Club, introducing your reigning, defending podcast tag team champions of the world. Introducing the former world champion George Groves and his partner Dec Taylor.
No, that's
so good.
Brilliant. That's fucking brilliant.
Speechless.
Oh, my heart's going.
One take.
Yeah, one take wonder. Fucking hell, I mean, we can't really top that, can we?
No, that's it. We're done now.
Yeah. We can close the
That's
podcast.
The start of every pod now.
Yeah, send your invoice to Steve.
Nah.
Get a rev share on that.
Got a bit of bad news though. You used our. We're gonna have to sue you for saying George Groves Boxing Club.
Yeah, because we have
You've
got
been banned already.
We'll put it in the post.
Yeah,
Big Mo, we've finally got an MC episode. It's only taken us 18 months.
I'm honored.
Nearly. And you've told us all about the ins and outs and the nuts and bolts of being an MC.
Lovely, great.
Maybe
mate.
we can
Thank you so much. What? Try being MC.
Yeah. You probably could.
No,
Especially now you go, welcome.
I've got welcome. That's about it.
That's it. Big Mo, thanks very much, mate.
Thank you, fellas. I appreciate the time.
How about that then, Dec?
How about Big Mo, the MC of the GGBC, the GGBMC?
Yeah.
Yeah. Penny dropped.
Oh yeah. Well, there.
That was interesting. Interesting tale.
What's MC again?
Master of Ceremonies.
Why is it not like mock?
Excuse me. Oh, but the of is just lowercase, isn't it?
It's not,
Yeah,
not
maybe just call
interesting
him
enough,
a
is
mock.
it?
Yeah. Big Mock.
Big mock. Big Mo mock.
Big Mo the Mock. How'd you find that, George?
It was really good. Educational.
Yeah.
I am not confident in my MC career,
No.
but
Not with that attitude.
well, no. Yeah. We drivel on. You're better at it than me.
Yeah.
I too many words, too many ums and ahs and that. I've got to take that out of the old.
Did it there?
Yeah, exactly. So
I do think the welcome. I think you should now, because that was a good little tip that he gave you, and you nailed it.
Yep.
So from now on, I really want the welcome. Like you can growl like you got a saxophone.
Yeah,
on the go.
true. I might take up the sax, or just have one with me. It's conversation starter.
Looks like you play it then. You ain't even ever got to play it.
Yeah, you don't play it. So, can't play it. I haven't got me music notes. So I don't know.
But Big Mo provided a big ep.
He did. That was great. We've been waiting for the MC app, haven't we? We had some a couple of. There's not a big pool to pull from, is there, in terms of MCs? But kind of Big Mo to come in.
Yeah.
And teach us stuff.
And he's not even 30 yet, so we could have another 30, 40 years of Big Mo. Anyway, George, you will only know about this sort of content hitting your phone if you hit the follow button. That's right, isn't it?
You got to hit the follow button in your podcast app to get on for everything. Subscribe to all our socials as well, because all this stuff is going viral. Big Mo goes viral, so therefore we go viral. Socials are always the same. GG Boxing Club on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, popping off.
Yeah, big time. And if you're on Spotify, then search our playlist, The Ringwalk.
Yes.
If you don't find it on first search, go on our link tree on the socials, and that will take you directly to that, which will include Bismarcky, Let Me Clear My Throat.
Let me clear my throat. And while you do, Dec, you can click the old merch link as well. I keep saying I'm saying more than ever.
Yeah, you fucked it. But if you do want some merch, you can buy a water bottle, especially been shredding.
Yes.
GGBC Shreds Group is going ballistic.
All day, every day.
Didn't ask Mo actually for his running credentials. He's got a hell of a stride on him.
Yeah. He used to weigh 315 pounds.
Yeah. Bigger Mo.
Bigger Mo.
Yeah. He's a shred master.
He must have been shredding.
Yeah.
He's lost 100 pounds.
If you're listening to this podcast, George, and you're like, fucking adverts, any options?
Yeah, I've got one good option for you. Amazon Music. Advertisement free on Amazon Music, so check them out. They're in the game. If you're not watching us, you're listening to us, but you fancy watching us, we're on YouTube.
We are.
Boxing News YouTube channel. Find us. You'll see us. We look great. And Big Mo looking good too. So do that.
Yeah, that's Wednesday evenings. Wednesday morning for the audio, Wednesday evening for the YouTube on the Boxing News YouTube channel. Can't say fairer than that, George. And I'm going to see you for How About That on Monday.
See you then.